So Camden, you want to play football?
No.
What about basketball?
No.
What about soccer?
No.
What do you want to play?
Golf.
Why? Only golf? Why?
Let's talk about it.
Okay. Oh! Show it. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Corey, and you are
Camden.
And we are the Authentic Swing Podcast. And so this is our third episode. So we had episode 1 and 2 come out.
Yep.
And so now we're on episode 3. So are you excited that we got things going?
Yes, I am. I think they turned out pretty well. Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So before we get started, I want to talk about what you selected to wear.
Okay.
And so let's start with the shirt. Can you show everybody the shirt? What did it say? Golfer. Golfer.
Golfer certified.
So you're a certified golfer, right?
Yep.
You think you're a certified golfer?
I think I'm
What makes you a certified golfer?
I mean, I'm 7 years in the makings as well. six, but I mean, I think I've played a good amount of golf.
Okay. You think other people call you certified?
I think so.
Why?
I think a lot of people have seen me on Instagram and know how much I play. So I think other people.
So you've been humble, because I was waiting to see if you were going to say something like, because I put up some good numbers. You said they've seen how long I've been playing, or you tried to take the humble approach, which is good. I like being humble. So we can rock with that. And so I do see you have this hat on, and I did not tell you to wear this stuff. At least not the hat. I did ask you to put the shirt on. But you got a hat that match, but its timing is good on this. It's the patch, right?
Yes.
And the patch actually made the news recently because Tiger Woods, his design firm,
The TGR.
TGR,
Like that,
and they're putting in some funding to try to redo that. That particular golf course,
Yes.
And it has a lot of historical nature, especially with the caddies from Augusta National that played on that course over the years, and so they're going in, and I think Augusta National is putting some money into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, have you ever played the patch?
I have.
So tell me, because I wasn't with you when you played the patch. Tell me about that experience when you went to the patch.
It was a really cool experience. I think it was cooler knowing that, some of, some caddies have walked there, Augusta National caddies, specifically black, which makes it even cooler. Don't know about our history.
Yeah.
And it was a really cool experience. It was a good golf course. It wasn't in the best condition.
But that's why they put money in it, right? Okay. So.
But the history, that made it really fun. So.
Absolutely. And it is a municipal. So, I mean, a lot of foot traffic and all of those, and typically not as much money go into those types of courses, right? Like the private courses or the semi-private courses, they have a lot more money that go into those courses. But this time I think I'm going to let you say who took you to that particular course. And because I think it's important to the nature of the conversation. So who took you to the patch whenever you went to the patch?
It wasn't an Augusta National caddy.
You said it was?
It is still.
Okay.
What was his name?
Yeah, you can say it.
His name is Larry Sampson.
Mr. Larry Sampson.
Mr. Larry Sampson, yes.
Okay, make sure we get that right.
Shout out to you. He took me out there.
Who? Because it was some other.
It was, I think, was it other?
I wasn't there, so I have no.
caddies?
But I think it was other caddies.
It was
from
other
Augusta
caddies,
National.
yes.
And so it kind of fits with the narrative that it is a track, what we call a track, that the caddies play. But
And that's the only course that they were allowed to play back when, it was more segregated.
Absolutely.
And they didn't have as much options back then.
So, just even the history of you playing that course, I think that's big. And you understanding the history, because I didn't really teach you the history of the patch. I think Mr. Larry and them taught you a lot about the patch. And so I just wanted to point that out because it's in the news. And it is an honor to be able to say you walked that track. And and for me as a dad, I think it's kind of cool that you are learning your history within the sport, not only as a golfer but as a black golfer, because I think that's very important to understand the journey that many people had to travel in order
to get to where they are.
For you to be able to do what you're doing. I think that's important. And so so we wanted to shout the Patch out, shout Mr. Larry out, and all the caddies who helped pave the way for kids like you. So today I want to talk more about you. I want you to be able to I want people to get to know who you are today as a golfer and your love for the sport. And so I do have some questions here. So if people see me looking here, I have some questions because I really want people to get to know you and the sport of golf. And so let's start. So what is your favorite thing about just being on a golf course?
I think my favorite thing about being on a golf course is enjoying nature, like the birds, the trees, geese, because we have a lot of geese at our course. Sounds, the wind. I think it's really calming, especially when you're by yourself. It just kind of calms you down in the moment.
Yeah, and you said when you're by yourself, so I do know we drop you off at the golf course a lot, and you said you walk the course by yourself, so with nobody out there. You have your push cart and you walk it, and so I know sometimes we go in the morning. And it's just the sounds of this, all nature just hitting you.
I rather play either really early in the morning or pretty late in the afternoon. Those are the two times.
And see, this wasn't even a question on there, but I'm going to ask you, why?
I think sometimes it makes this like, it feels surreal sometimes. Like we were playing, what was it? A week and a half ago, we had all that fog.
Yeah, we posted that video on Instagram.
We did, and it just kind of feels surreal, hitting into open field. There's fog. I don't know, something about that just makes me feel really, really good about myself.
And you were like the first person on the golf course that day.
I think I was.
I mean, there was some other people out there warming up, but you chose to go off on the back when they went off on the front, and then I left you out there. Yeah. But you play by yourself, and so you like the nature, you like the birds, and to be honest with you, I think that's what a lot of people say. They really enjoy nature. They enjoy being connected. As a kid, a lot of kids don't get to go outside as much, or they choose not to go outside as much. And so as a dad, seeing you out there with nature doing something that you love, I want that for you, because when I was a kid I had to go outside. Inside wasn't an option,
right? And
so the fact that you choose to go out there and connect with nature, that's big for me. So do you remember a time recently where golf made you feel really happy, and if so, like what happened? Like what was it that made you really, really feel happy?
I think my hole-in-one. I think I'm gonna say that. And I think that really, kind of, I mean, there's obviously some luck in there, but I think that really kind of, that motivated me a lot to go out there, and push my hardest to, practice more. And now every time I go in that hole, it feels a lot easier now because I made the hole-in-one. So I feel like I'm going to make one every single time I go in the hole. But, yeah.
You know what? I think most people would say that making a hole-in-one, that is a happy time, because that's something that a lot of people chase. I mean, you have people who've been playing for 40, 50 years.
And
they've never made a hole-in-one. And you made yours, you were 11 still, right?
I was a little,
You were still 11. Yeah, it was, and so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And, okay. And so let's talk a little bit about why you choose to play golf, because we opened this with a little funny, we always open with a little funny skit, and I asked you about all of these other sports. Clearly I'm your dad, so I know what sports you want to play and what you don't want to play, but at the same time I do want to dive a little bit deeper, and I haven't asked him any of these questions though, and so so when I'm asking these questions, he's seen these questions but he's never answered these questions, and so I am curious to know some of these answers to these questions. So if someone who's never met you asked you, why do you play golf, what would you say to them?
The passion. I think the passion, like my passion for the sport, is really big. I have a big love for the sport, and I think that kind of motivates me and drives me go out there and practice, go out there and play more.
Yeah. So let's go a little deeper. You said your passion, but passion is built off of something. And so when you go out there, what creates that passion? What about golf when you're out there creates that passion to want to return every day or however often you go out there? What about the sport that creates that passion?
I think, being out there, being with friends, nature. It's just it's a really fun place to be. And it's a, yeah.
Okay. So a lot of kids play other sports. So we know kids that play football, basketball, baseball, and just so people understand, we live in Middle Georgia. Golf is not a big sport here.
It's baseball, basketball,
And football.
and football.
Everybody, your friends at school, that's what they play. And so why golf over those sports? Because you have an opportunity to play those sports, right? I've tried to get you to play basketball, and you were like, nah, I want to play golf. That's all you want to do. And so why golf over those sports?
I think the memories that I've made playing golf, it's really hard to leave them.
You don't have to leave though, because you can play the other ones and still play golf. But
okay,
so, yeah,
I
no,
think,
which is okay.
Yeah, I just think it's a really. I mean, I think you kind of have to, if you're gonna play, if you want to be the best, you kind of have to commit to it.
Okay.
And so I want to be the best, obviously. So I think committing to it is really why I don't play any other sports.
Okay, and you know what? As a dad, I accept that answer. Definitely, if you want to be the best, I mean, you can play other sports. I read an article today that it wasn't an article; it was a post on Instagram, and it showed that Brooks Koepka, Tony Finau, and it was some other guys that's on the PGA Tour that played basketball. So you can play other sports and still be really, really good at golf, right? But I'm not against you wanting to focus on this sport. That's fine. As a dad, I'm okay with that. And so another thing is, I know you like video games. So first of all, which video game do you like the most?
I'm a Fortnite player.
So you play Fortnite. You have your
put it out
computer
there.
over here and with your
Right
gaming
here, yep.
system and all of that over here, right? And so you love Fortnite. But one thing I have recognized as your dad watching you is that you do put time in on Fortnite, but I feel like you put more time in golf. Like you literally leave playing Fortnite to go to the golf course if you have the opportunity, right? And so why? Because I know a lot of kids and a lot of people, and it's not just kids. You have adults who spend a lot of time on Fortnite, which you spend an okay amount of time, but not a ton. But why golf over video games?
It's kind of it's kind of hard to balance out like between the two, because that's what I really try to do is balance them out. So I mean, but golf is obviously taking over, which if were to happen is the better thing. If I'm gonna commit to and I want to be the best. So I mean, I think it's really just the commission to it.
Okay, the commitment to it.
Commitment.
Yeah, and so at one point when you first got the gaming system, I know you were putting a lot of time into Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
And then something clicked in you, and you started saying, "Hey, I want to go to the golf course." And like even when you come after school, we have days that are designated for you, just so people know. We just recently switched them, but for a long time, going to sleep. Well, you just got home from golf, right?
I did.
But we had days obligated to when you can play video games, right? And those days were because we literally just changed it this week, but it was Monday, Wednesdays. You can, am I right?
Mondays and Wednesdays,
golf
and then
course.
obviously
Tuesday.
Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, video games. Tuesday, Thursday,
golf course. And then Fridays, just
Fridays,
all over the place.
Yeah, whatever you choose in the weekend, tournaments and practice, right? But it's weird because on Monday and Wednesday, where are you?
By the golf. Well, on Monday, I usually go to the golf course now.
Right, and that's a video game day, right?
Yeah.
So when you come from the golf course, how much time do you have to play video games before?
I go to bed at 8:30. Because I have to wake up at 5:30 just to put it out there.
Yeah.
It's pretty early.
Yeah.
It's hard, but Wait, what was the question?
And you go to 5:30 for school.
Yes, for school.
Not for
school,
anything else.
Yes.
But you don't have a lot of time left in the day to play video games when that's your video game day.
And so I have about an hour to play because I gotta take a shower and eat. So altogether, I probably have about 15 minutes to play.
Yeah.
Which is it's not a lot.
And so you give up, and my point of bringing that up is because you sacrifice your time in playing video games to go to the golf course, and you have the option, so it's not like you can't come home and play
Right.
video games. So I just want to, and I'm trying to highlight a little bit of your commitment to this, and so that's why that's very important. Okay, so and I'm looking at my questions, y'all. So do you ever get tired of playing golf?
No, I think my love for the game grows as I play more.
Wow. And the crazy thing, y'all, I want y'all to understand that I haven't asked him these questions, and so I'm hearing his answers at the same time you all are hearing his answers. And maybe my face is not showing it, but I'm warming up inside because, these answers are showing me how committed you really are to the game. And I think this is what I've always wanted for you. Because we've been traveling this journey for a long time, and I've always said there's going to be a day that you're going to take over your journey, and I feel like we've arrived to that point where you are dictating the pace of this, and the pace is far beyond what I even envisioned for you, and your love for the game is even further than I envisioned for you. And so hearing these answers, it's like music to my ears, not because I think you're going to make it to the tour or any of that. It's because I know you love this game, and I think you're making the decision to push to try to be better at this game. And so I appreciate that. And so what's your favorite feeling in golf? Is it hitting a perfect shot, practicing, going out to the course alone, being with friends, being in a tournament? What is like that feeling that you absolutely love in golf?
I think it's really when I hit a shot how I want to, exactly how I want to, like exactly where I want it to land. I think that's a really good feeling. A lot of golfers probably would say the same. But I think it's just like, because I do imagery before my shots. I image what I'm going to do before I hit the ball. And so I think, doing the exact thing I envision in my mind is kind of satisfying. I think it's kind of cool. So, yeah.
So let me ask you a question then when you say that. So I know we recently showed a shot on Instagram when you shaped that shot around the branches, right? And so you think you can curve it around a tree? All right. That's actually really good. That's actually impressive. Good shot. Right. And I think it's two things, right? So you just said whenever you execute a shot. What about when you shut me up?
I think that's pretty cool too. I think that I don't really say it a lot.
Yeah.
I just kind of let everything do its thing. But I think that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I think that's also pretty satisfying. So yeah.
Dude, I mean, and it happens so much where I'm like, man, you should do this or you should do that, and you be like, I got it. And so I'll get quiet, and now you don't know I'm back there in my mind pouting because I'm like, he should do this, should do that, or whatever. And you hit a shot, and I'm just like, dang.
Yeah.
And you pull it off, man. And so, but you know what? I do appreciate that you're at a point now where you own your journey. Like you don't take I'm not saying you don't listen to me because you do listen to me, but you know your game better than I know your game at this point. And you stand firm on what you feel like the shot. And that's why I don't even really, I stay back now. I'll just stay out the way because you know how to play golf. And so, yeah. So let's talk about golf being hard. And we got about 2 or 3 minutes because I don't want to go too much over 20 minutes. But so golf is hard.
It is. It's a really hard.
How do you stay focused when things aren't going your way? Like how do you stay locked in, or even not locked in, or returning back to the game after things don't go your way?
I laugh a lot. Like after I hit bad shots, I usually laugh at myself.
You don't always laugh.
I don't always laugh.
Okay, sometimes you're mad, but
mad.
you do.
I think it depends on the pressure of the shot, like where I'm at. If I'm at my home course, Austin Lake, I'm just on the course and I hit a bad shot, I'll laugh at myself. But if I'm at a tournament, I may laugh at myself here or there, but I'm gonna get pretty mad if I don't hit the shot I want
But
to.
what makes you come back?
I think the love for the game. I think knowing that I can do better on the next hole, knowing what's ahead. I think knowing the course a lot. I think that helps too. So I know the hole and know how to play it. So yeah.
All right, so I'm going to ask you one final question. It's a fun question. So, hypothetically speaking, because we know you want to commit to golf at this point, if you could play another sport, or if, like, not could, because you could play any sport you want to at this
Right.
point. If you had to say another sport you would play if you weren't committed to golf, what would that sport be and why?
It could be tennis.
What? I didn't expect that answer. I'm sorry. That's pretty cool. Why tennis?
I think tennis helps a lot with the golf swing.
Oh, you tying it back to golf. That is funny. I'm not mad at that, but go ahead.
And I played tennis for a little bit, surprisingly. I took a couple lessons and it was really fun.
Yeah.
And so I think tennis would be the sport I would commit to alongside golf.
Yeah, and you like individualized sports. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I like putting blame on myself a lot.
So you take a lot. You like the responsibility of owning everything that comes with
To
the
know what
sport.
I need to do.
Yeah, and that's
time.
part of golf, and that's one thing we've always talked about though, is that when you play in this sport, whether you hit a good shot, bad shot, great shot, terrible shot, you have to own it. It's you. You hit the shot, right?
Right.
And so, man, this actually, the crazy thing is, I'm appreciating this episode, and I haven't even watched it because I learned so much more about you. I mean, I know things about you, but to hear you speak about it, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I just want you to know that. And so we're not going to stretch this out any longer. But we do want people. What's the first thing we want them to do?
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. And
I'm not begging you, but
asking them.
yeah.
Right? We need the subscriptions, right? Because we were trying to grow this. But at the same time, where can they follow you?
On Instagram, they can follow me at Camden Guyton, and on YouTube, Authentic Swing Podcast.
Absolutely. And you can follow our page on Instagram, the Authentic Swing Pod on Instagram. And so we want to say thank you for tuning in. We hope that you got to know a little bit more about Camden.
Yes.
Hope that you appreciated his answers, because I did. And I'm proud of you, man. I'm legitimately proud of you. And so I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in again. Like and subscribe. And we look forward to posting some more for you and recording this a little bit more for you. So thank you, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
You said
You
YouTube
too.
like. All right. Anyway, y'all have a good one.